Admissions. Another reason is that generally in smaller schools, the head teacher and teachers, they likely put to more efforts to seek the quality of education in order to attract the community for admissions of the students. Because the smaller schools do not have a big name, a big reputation, therefore people are not interested to get their children in the smaller schools. They go for big names usually, and in the Pakistani context, because there are so many setups available for the schools and for the children to get into the schools, the smaller schools heads and teachers, they try their best to bring a good name for the school. This they do in order to get more and more students admitted to the school. Whereas on the other hand, the schools which are larger and medium in size, they generally don't care for such matters, and therefore they do not put in efforts because they know that already their name is there and they do not need to advertise for any admissions as such, as their schools are already overloaded with students. So in that case, these schools, they do not have a problem of admissions. They are big schools, they have big names, they are larger in size because of having so many students in the school. There are so many parents who already know about this school because by the word of mouth it is spread that these students are going to this big school. And because of the number of students and also sometimes because of the building, the parents are much impressed and they would like to put their children in larger size schools or medium sized schools. Whereas the staff and the heads of the smaller schools, they have to make an effort. They have to strive hard to bring their name to the market. Unfortunately, education has now a lot to do with business and marketing. So the larger schools or the medium-sized schools, they don't really need to work on their marketing because already they are in the market. People are interested to get their children in those schools. However, these large schools and medium schools are overloaded. They already have people on the waiting list. There are 3 or 4 waiting lists which are advertised again and again after there is some place there, which is normally not very common to have a vacant place. But still, the schools, they maintain the waiting lists, and after there is a dropout, the name which is next in the list is taken and the admission is granted to the next person who is in the waiting list. However, the case in the smaller schools is totally different. It is a small school, it has no name as for the reputation of being a big school. It is considered to be small even if the quality of education is good there. There are some exceptions. There are some parents who are well aware of the quality of education being imparted in the smaller size schools. So they are interested to get their children in those smaller schools. But as a whole, the teachers and the head of the smaller schools have to really work hard to compete with those schools which are larger in proportion or are medium-sized schools. So they have to work in all respects, and that could be one reason that the results and the achievement in the smaller school is much higher than the larger schools. This is what the study reported.